welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, I am a San Francisco style, beauty, and lifestyle blogger. Although I typically talk about those things on my platforms, today I'm actually going to be sharing something very different. I'm going to be talking about my journey with an autoimmune issue called chronic urticaria, also known as chronic hives. This is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time because when I first got this chronic illness, I felt very alone and there wasn't a lot of information out there about it. So now that it's been almost 2 years, I've learned a lot about the issues going on in my body. I want to share some of the answers that I've found based on my own experience and my own research with anyone going through something similar. Although I felt really alone when this first happened to me, I finally opened up about it on Instagram and I was so surprised to receive so many messages and comments about other people going through something similar. If you're one of those people, I just hope that this video helps to bring some solidarity and some encouragement that it is possible for things to get better. Without further ado, let's just get right into it. When I first started planning this video, I put together a folder in my phone of all the selfies that I took in the beginning of my flare-ups and over the last couple years, and it feels like it was just yesterday that my entire life changed. The very first flare-up I had, I believe it was on a Monday. Mario and I used to shoot content on Sundays, and I remember the day after we shot content feeling these bumps on my lips. Initially, I thought it was herpes because I thought they were cold sores. I had never had a cold sore before, but that was the first thing that I associated with it. It got progressively worse over time. The bumps spread all over my lips. It was coming off of my lips and going on to my chin and my cheeks. Eventually, Mario convinced me to just go to the doctor. He's like, this really doesn't look like herpes. I saw a nurse practitioner, and because I assumed it was cold sores, they prescribed me antivirals without realizing themselves that it was an allergic reaction. I actually ended up having a terrible allergic reaction to the antivirals. They made my eyes swell. I will show you pictures. I'll have Mario pop one up over here. It made my eyes so swollen. It looked like I had been crying endlessly, and I had this rash. Aside from my lips being incredibly swollen, I had a rash that spread all over my face. It turned into terrible hives. It was kind of like a slow progression. It was really bad under my neck. I remember just being in so much pain and discomfort, and it was so itchy, and literally nothing would soothe it. My face was mangled for almost 3 weeks. It was really scary, and I had to go back to the doctors and figure out why I was reacting the way that I was. Eventually, after seeing several nurse practitioners and several doctors, someone finally told me, you know, this actually isn't cold sores, it's not herpes, it's an allergic reaction. And that was when I finally made the decision to make a lot of changes to my lifestyle and diet, and I wanted to really figure out what was going on. Learning that I was sensitive to nuts and I had gained this new quote-unquote allergy, it helped me cut a lot of things out of my diet and my lifestyle. The thing is that my sensitivities really exceed that. I'm sensitive to chemicals and so many things that I never realized someone could be so sensitive to. For example, I'm very sensitive to certain hairsprays and rubbing alcohol and bleach and just kind of harsh chemicals in general. They give me a headache, they give me a rash if they come into contact with my skin. My lips can swell, I can get headaches, I can get nausea. Looking back, I remember before I ever had an allergic reaction on my skin or on my lips, I was working in retail. Someone I worked with, they had this specific perfume and they wore so much of it, and it literally made me nauseous and it made me have the worst headache. I would literally have to stand by the front doors so I could get fresh air because every time she walked by me, it made me sick. And I had never experienced anything like that before. And this was probably just a couple months before I had my very first flare up. I don't think this is something that was triggered by one specific situation. I feel that this was something that was slowly happening and building up. One day my body just had enough and something went really out of whack. Now that I've shared what the past nearly 2 years have been like living with chronic urticaria, I do want to answer a couple questions that you all submitted on Instagram. The first is, do you break out in rashes on a common area of your body? And I would say yes and no. If I use a lotion that has either nut oil or a certain chemical in it that I'm sensitive to, I will get a reaction on other parts of my body. The most sensitive area is my lips and my face. When I saw an allergist, she actually told me that the reason our lips and the area around here is more prone to reactions is because the skin is thinner. What type of doctors do you see? The first testing that I got was on my back with an allergist, and she cross-referenced the reactions I had on my back when I was exposed to a variety of things with blood work. I could select all the foods I thought I was sensitive to, and they pricked all over my back. What made you decide to get tested? There were two factors. The first was that I had these consistent reactions for weeks on end, and I had to figure out what was going on because I couldn't function. I could barely go to school. I was in school full time. I think I was in my senior year of college, or perhaps the semester right before. I couldn't work. I couldn't do a lot. I knew that there was something deeper going on inside of my body that I had to figure out and fix. And the second is that my boyfriend really encouraged me to go. Part of me was almost in denial that it was serious, even though I could blatantly see it all over my face. I was just hoping like maybe it'll go away. And I thought, you know, even if I see a doctor, they're not going to give me a lot of answers. He kept encouraging me, and, you know, he was seeing me in a lot of pain, and, you know, he also had to take care of me, and it was not easy for either one of us. I'm really grateful that he was so encouraging and supportive during that time, because I really isolated myself from the world, and I was just so embarrassed and so scared, and you know, he was a really great support system during that time. That is all I'm going to be sharing for today's video. I mostly wanted to focus on how it was in the beginning, my first reaction, and kind of what I was dealing with for a big chunk of the first year to year and a half. I do want to share more videos. This is going to be an ongoing subject that I will be talking about and opening up more about. In my next video, I want to share how I've managed it and the lifestyle changes I've made, which include my diet and other things as well. So be sure to subscribe, and I hope that you found me sharing my story and my journey helpful. I want you to know that if you're going through this as well, you're definitely not alone, and it is possible for things to get better. It may take time, and things may never be completely the same the way that they were before, but it is possible for your body to heal and for these terrible reactions to subside. So just hang in there and keep your head up. Bye.